Good evening. RSM, Captain Obvious. Besides the mind bending knowledge that I had to share with you, I've got this all tied up to 1984. What happened in 1984? RSM had a tragic event happen in 1984. This episode is called HOGS for Justice. Stand with me, ride with me for a mile or three. Support my cause, please. I'm going to Texas in February. San Antonio, particularly Kerrville, Kerr County, a few miles north of San Antonio, to get justice for 23 of us. Yes, 23 of us, whom were tortured with a cattle prod, chainsaws, running all day. 23 men at particular times over a few month period in 1984 kidnapped boys in Texas. Made it. Told we were going to be given a job. Cutting wood, make keychains. Old man rolled down the window. Want a job? Yeah, buddy, I want a job. Broken, disgusted. I'm going back to California, and he gives me a job. And we go up to his ranch, and it's not a ranch, not a working ranch. It's hundreds of thousands of acres. You don't know which way the sun sets up there. The short of it is, in the morning, a couple of us wanted to leave. There's about 12 or 15 other guys up there. Nobody would really talk to us. It's kind of a weird situation. Got up there, we did a few hours work around the big house that night, cleaning up brush, and nobody would really talk to us. We were going to cut wood and make keychains. This went global news, 1984. If you do a search on Wikipedia for Texas slave ranch, there's the Dr. Down version. This right here, RSM, there, victim. Torched with a cattle prod 15 times in one day. What does that do to a man? What happens to a man who gets torched with cattle prod, electric cattle prod, 15 times in a day? He goes crazy. I put this down for 34 years. Got the girl. 1 year later, met the girl of my life. She does rest now, 1 year. I remained 1 year before I did this. She softened me when I met her 1 year out from this incident in Texas, which has proven the pivot upon which I do still swing. This and one particular other 6 years earlier. I'll get to that. This episode was over the top torture with a cattle prod by men who had nothing else to do but pick men up off the freeway, offer them a job, and when they wanted to leave, all these men were cowed, all of them. Three of us went. Travis Boyd, Ed Blanton, are you out there, men? RSM, yeah, Bobby McCafferty, on the chain gang with you. Ooh, yeah, it was the chain gang, 1984, March 5. Chain gang, cattle prod. You don't know the pain. I feel that pain to very day. And I'm not letting it go on unanswered. I'm standing up now and being counted. I'm not going to lay down and be mounted. These men hired a lawyer for $1 million. RSM, I testified in this trial. Powerful witness. Stood down that $1 million lawyer. Asked him. I was asking questions. You didn't get hit with a cattle prod. I did. Lawyer trying to make me out to be the bad guy. He kept me in town 3 extra days. Made my woman suffer. Without me. 1986. What happened? They got convicted. Murder, first degree. Burned a man alive. Oh, and put it on tape. Live at the bunkhouse. Shock time. People love this stuff. Time to make a movie. Yeah. I've got some ideas of who I'm going to present this to. I think it's going to fly. This RSM was present, over the top, wretched, horrible slave ranch in Texas. $1 million lawyer. Why did they need $1 million? But and they sold off a lot of their property. It used to be hundreds of thousands of acres. Now it's 3,500. Junior Ellerbach is the one that administered the torture all day. Yeah, with the cattle prod, telling us we don't bury him up here. We burn him. Ooh, by the main house, which was off the highway, up to a dead end, off that road to a gravel road up the hill. Big hill, big up in the hill, north of San Antonio. Hundreds of thousands of acres. Now, down to 3,500. Why? Because they're having to sell off what they've got, because their defense is costing them more and more money to stay out of prison. I aim, period, to overturn this overturned verdict. They were found guilty. They were found, FOUND, found guilty. They were sentenced. And they had $1 million lawyer, and they got off on appeal. And that ain't right. And RSM here to make it so. These boys belong in prison for the rest of their days. Or not on the planet called Earth. They burned a man alive, and they put it on tape live at the bunkhouse. It's shock time. And they played it over and over and over and listened to him writhing and screaming and crying on the ground. Oh, it was over the top horrid. Living with this for 36 years has been off the axis of real. RSM here. Too many tales. I do not rest yet of this. The man got off on appeal. He tortured me with a cattle prod and told me all day, we're just going to burn you at the end of the day. Alive. We're just going to burn you alive at the end of the day. Ooh. Yeah, that is over the top fear. Bad fear. Living with that for all these years is quite not esteemed as worthy to dream that big. This was over the top big. It was way out of the axis of real. And these people are walking free. And I aim to make sure that this verdict is overturned again. They were guilty then, they are guilty now. But let's go into some things that happened to other people in 1984. Ooh, 1984 was a pivotal year. 1984. So these men are guilty. They are wretched guilty. They are guilty till eternity of this. They did this, period. They kidnapped us with promises of work. We're going to cut wood and make keychains. But we can pay you, we can feed you 3 squares a day and give you a pack of cigarettes every day, but we can't feed you can't pay you for a couple of weeks because we had a lot of guys coming and going. Well, sure they did. They were torturing and killing people and burning them alive at the ranch. This is over the top, horrid beyond what you may have considered. RSM endured and better for it. Now, there are some quotes that men have uttered through the decades. There is an object, and the object is to rid the man, yes, rid the planet of the man. Who says? Well, let's go back 120 years. Nietzsche, famous German philosopher. Nietzsche stated this, quote, the object sovereignty. He said, the great work, quote, the great work is the death of God to be accomplished by the immortality of man. Ooh wee. That doesn't sound very good. Yeah. Death of God? Impossible. Immortality of man? That's not real. That's backwards. Opposite, reverse, backwards of real. And that's what they do, and they have been for hundreds of years. And Voltaire, an esteemed and respected man, lawyer, lawman, he said this in 1748. He said, lie. Lie always, not timidly or with reservation, but like the very devil, boldly and always. Yeah, he said that. And knowing these things brings a little bit more clarity to why the world is at continual state of war. Because the war is fashioned to continue, not to end. If there were war in one spot of the world, we can't move the United States to some other spot to avoid the war. Not yet. Now, to the mind bending quotes. Why did J. Edgar Hoover, yeah, J. Edgar Hoover, who was he? He was the director of the FBI, 46 years. These things came largely from Germany. Yeah, after the war. What happened? I tell you just what. About 1,400 of the worst Nazis, the ones that ran the programs, the secretive programs, they were brought to America under Project Paperclip. Why? They said they got strong. The research and development arm of the NASA is more likely than Nazis. It's over the top, believable that you got these leathers and you got the spike and you got it all going on. It's over the top, grand for this Bobby too. Now, have you got any soft soft key food over there? Oh, these men were guilty of kidnapping and torturing 23 of us, and I'm riding on my hog to get justice. Here's what I want to say to Walter Wesley Ellerbach, yeah, the man that tortured us. You're going to get yours, and I'm going to get yours, all of it, taking it all away from you. Victims have rights. Penalties must be imposed, eventually, and they will. Junior Ellerbach, Walter Wesley Junior Ellerbach. He was 33 years old when he said, what were you thinking? Kidnapping people off the freeways and torturing us with cattle prod and chainsaws and threatening to burn us alive all day and jumping and gleeing and laughing about like a wild dog in heat, watching men writhe and limbs flailing and mind numb distortion and why is this happened to me? Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. Your mind just goes to bubbles. Living with this for 30, almost 6 years, because 1 year out from this, I met the woman of me, and she softened me, and she took me, and I knew the night I met her that I was putting this down to take care of her. And she told me she loved me in 3 days, and I was a hard ass, and it took me 22 months. And when I did, I took her to the Sweetwater, Tennessee Justice of the Peace and married her. That's right, she was my girl from the moment we laid eyes on one another. I was 1 year out from being kidnapped and tortured in Texas. So I waited one straight year. My woman did pass to rest now, 11/22, 2019, 2018, 11/22, 2018, 1 year and 1 month ago, a few days. I'm over the top without me, but now I've got to fix me. I'm calling for HOGS. How about me a screaming eagle? Yeah, I do think in a fat way to go down to Texas. Because I want to show up down in Kerrville, one exit town. That was 35 years ago. Where is it now? I got to go on Google Maps and figure that out, see what's going on. But the man, Walter Wesley Ellerbrack Jr., is still down there. You know, he's got quite a bit of a little problem with the law his damn self the last bunch of years. I'm going down there to confront the man, diplomatically speak with him eye to eye. What were you thinking? You think I was going to go away forever? I was taking care of my woman. She was soft. She was the respite from my pain. It came 1 year after this happened to me and told me, Bobby, you need to quit being so angry, Bobby. And when she did that, I melted. I melted right very now. This girl was needing love, and I give it to her, and she gave it to me. And we never seen it anywhere else like we ran. But I knew this day was coming then. She was 11 years my senior year. Regular logic. So now here we are, 30, almost 6 screaming years later. And Bobby McCafferty's got him a hog. I'm going down there in a fat way. I'm going to write letters to the Justice of the Peace and to the senators and to the congressmen and to the officials in Kerr County and the surrounding counties, reminding them what happened 36 years ago come March 4/5, RSM, present, Mountain Home Slave Ranch, Texas. If you do a search on Wikipedia, that'll give you the sanitized version of what happened. It went global news. If you dial up the name Walter Wesley Ellerbrack, pages and pages of irretrievable bad. Somebody that does this to another human doesn't get fixed. That don't get fixed. That don't come off ever. Yeah, did me real bad, and I'm here to take from you, Junior Ellerbrock, man, some of your dignity. Not like you did mine. Not like you made me writhe on the ground and put me on a chain gang with two other men. Travis and Ed, are you out there? We can do this more together than we can separately. I'm on my hug, screaming for justice. 35 years ago was overturned. A conviction was overturned. How do you overturn a conviction when there's a tape played in the courtroom of a man screaming as he is burned alive. How do you turn that over on appeal? Money. That's what that is. Money talks. Money talks. Yeah. Walter Wesley Elbrecht Sr., Walter Wesley Elbrecht Jr., and Carlton Robert Caldwell. He sided with the enemy. Yeah, he was picked up as a bad. He sided with the enemy, and he was in on the act, and too bad for him. What about this? Our commission. What are these? These are guidestones, rules for humanity. 10 of them. What does that sound like to you? Yeah, exactly. Two stones engraved. Then I must sign off because Bobby McCafferty hasn't got much more to say tonight. One caveat for legitimate perusal. These men mean just what they say, and they've been saying it for hundreds of years. Voltaire, respected, esteemed statesman, ruler, author, inventor, these too numerous to list. Esteemed through history, hundreds of years of them. Why? Because these people announce themselves, and they do it in plain sight, notwithstanding the veracity and the duplicity that is so evident. Voltaire, quote, lie, lie always. Not timidly or with reservation, but like the very devil, boldly and always. Close quote. This was sent to leaders the globe over. 1748. Ouch! We are living in this country, on this planet called Earth, a plethora of lives that are so entangled within each other, whining them out is not will quite be done. This is a fat time. Uh, Fat call, justice. We got to overturn this. We got to overturn this overturned verdict. Why did they overturn the verdict? Guilty, first degree murder, first degree murder. They burned a man alive. Who proved this? A man named Jack Snow, April 1986, RSM. I testified in this trial, San Antonio. Convicted. Jack Snow, esteemed paleontologist, known globally. This is the paleontologist that positively identified the bones of Joseph Mengele, the Nazi war criminal. This man is the man that was used to identify the bones of a man named Anthony Bates, coincidental, whose bones were found charred. The bones remains all there was of him. Yeah, they burned him alive, and they had fun with it, and that is over the top, wretched, will period not stand. I'm here to overturn this overturned verdict because I was a victim, and I'm not going to simply lay down and be mounted when it's in my wherewithal to do something about it. So I will, for now. Tomorrow night's episode is called Laying It All Down Here, 911. Ooh, too many discussions on 911. This will blow your certain mind. off the axis of real, and is nothing but millennia old. Yeah. Tune in tomorrow night. I like to keep these videos short. I get sleepy. Take care. Stay safe. Remember, we must continue to carry on with dignity and never give up. Hope is a good thing, the best of things. Among the best of things, hope got me out of some over the top, horrid situations, such as Texas slave ranch 35 years ago. And 1 year later, I met my girl, and she softened my ground, and I put me down for 34 years, 35 of them now. I've been 1 year grieving my woman. And I bought our hog. We were all about buying a hog. Bought our hog. Rode a hog. Never sat on a hog. Never sat on a bike. Yeah, I'm Bobby McCafferty, and I do things in a fat way. How does this happen to me in Texas? I was hitchhiking back to California. I had worked the previous year on the Delta Queen steamboat. Prelude to my nightmare. It was a grand year. Rode the freight trains to New Orleans. Why? Because I hadn't done that before, and it was quicker than hitchhiking. Three of us rode the freights to New Orleans. Got a job on the Delta Queen steamboat 3 weeks later, and flew home 6 weeks after that with my piles of cash, and did that a few times over the year. Then got fired at the end of the year. What did I do? I lost my head. Stayed on the boat too long without a vacation, 11 weeks or some darn thing. I lost my head and was disrespectful and got told to remove myself from the vessel, and I did. And I came home from November '83 till February of '84. I sold the car that I bought when I came home to Reno, rode a bus back to New Orleans, tried to get my job back. Charlene Winkler, she was the personnel director for the Delta Queen Steamboat Company in New Orleans. She said, "No, we fired you. Get out of here. You ain't got a job. Bye bye." I'm hitchhiking back to California, and I get picked up hitchhiking with. There were four in our group. Three of us decided the next morning we wanted the book. Thanks, but we did a few hours of work up here, and so we're gonna go to the book. So he said, "Well, I'll tell Junior when he comes up here." So Junior comes up the hill in the van. He two loads and gets down to the van, down the house, a couple miles down the hill. Junior talks to Charlie. Charlie's talking to Junior, and everyone's looking back and forth, looking over at us. And Junior says, "Okay, well, let's get in. I'll go back out of the house." It's down to the main house. Everybody piles out of the van ahead of us. We're left, three of us standing there, empty, uncomfortable. Junior comes back out of the house. Father behind him with a rifle. He says, "We gave you a job and give you a way to make money and a place to live, and you want to take off and leave?" Junior, get the chain. Oh no, here's where it really starts getting wavy. Yeah, the chain came out. Little short chain at the ankles. We're each 3 feet apart. We're maybe 10 feet of chain. Hitting us with cattle prods, dumping us in the well. The well area was like a bunch of feet square and mushy. It was a mess. And gotten out of there, I'm glad I did, and I want to thank my woman again. Now, These guys are guilty of torturing men. Hugs for justice. I'm leaving February 15, maybe 12, going down the I-5 from Grants Pass, Oregon. I live in Crescent City, California. Peaceful, except for this issue, which is set on my heart screaming for 35 years because when I met my girl, she was grand and she settled my ground, and I decided to put inhumanity down, stomp it down, leave it down, tear it down, ignore it down until I was done with human. She's gone now, one straight year, and I've got to fix me. So I'm going back down to Texas to confront these men, and I am a very powerfully inclined man, and I will do exactly as I determine. What I am doing is getting this verdict overturned. Again, Junior Elbrock, you are going back to prison. Period. Where you belong. You're a foul, putrid human who did foul, putrid things, and you have not paid the price. Victims of rights. Over the top, right. It's not about revenge. It's about right. Exactly. Spot on right. You did exactly wrong. Horrid, bad wrong. Ours, I'm here to save the day. So I will. Please, join me. Support me. In deed and word and thought and prayer. A dime or 15 cents if you can afford it. Well, I'm on Social Security. I bought me a hug. Saved all of my days. We did saved all of our days for a hug. It became apparent a few years ago that my woman was not going to be able to enjoy that with me, and so I didn't buy a hug. I waited near one straight year. And I've got to go clean me up from the past because this is indignity multiplied. When a man puts you on a torture gang with a chain locked at the ankles and zaps you with a torture cattle prod all day, that doesn't go away. That cannot go left unspoken on. Oh yeah, he's a he let me go. What happened there? Ooh, I'm the guy that let go. Too bad. When I got home 3 days later, I told family and such what happened to me. I reasoned to myself, they let me go, they're gonna let everybody go. A guy come along drinking vodka in his coffee, going to Redondo Beach. About 20 minutes after he left me off the freeway, I said, "Let me drive." By that night, he stopped and got us a motel. And in the morning, I told him the story, and it sounded again to me like I could believe that they let me go. They're gonna let everybody go. Well, when I got home, the day after I got home, Travis Boyd, yeah, you got away. You went to the cops. Good going. You did good. I am immeasurably glad nothing else happened to anybody in that 4 day period when I was gone. I was going to the cops. Going right to the cops. Going absolutely to the cops. The guy drinking vodka in his coffee can't understand a word I said. I was pretty shattered. I took the ride. I'm glad no one else got hurt. But now I'm on my hog to get justice. I'm going to rent my home out for a few months. Come down to Texas. Confront Walter Wesley Allenbrock. Carlton Robert Caldwell, where are you, you little weenie? Sided with the enemy. Yeah, you were a vagrant. You got picked up and sided with the enemy, and you became complicit, and you were testified. You were convicted in the trial too, and it all got overturned on appeal. And that is money speaking. That cannot stand. That is not what a civilized society that claims to be operating on the parameters of justice and right and decent and human and good and proper and fair. No, that's an evident demonstration that they got some few years in a big prison house with lots of floor space, and this has not been fixed. Until it is, it's not. Let's go into something else, a little bit different. What is the dollar symbol? Obviously, knowing this gives perspective. My father told me at the age of 12, at the tetherball court, two things. Tetherball court in the backyard. Bob, perspective is everything, Bob. I didn't really know what he meant then, but I thought about it all my days. I got to be 61 last July. Perspective is everything. Perspective is how you view a thing, how you look at a thing, how you manipulate a thing, how you understand a thing by the way you feel about it and look at it and represent it to yourself. What else are they doing on the planet that we don't know of? Off the planet. Perspective includes much more than you ever thought could be or would be or really is be. Today is. When Ben Rich said in 1991 at his retirement presentation, head of Lockheed Skunk, he was the head of Lockheed Skunk, and he backed out of that, and yesterday he took the motorcycle to work. Yeah, good for him. Things are moving at an increasingly rapid rate on the planet called Earth, and Walter Cronkite was a Satanist. What about real do you possibly intend to continue to harbor as inconsequential? When knowing these things, here's a by legitimate perspective. The dollar bill symbol. What is this? The staff of Hermes with a serpent wound over it. Yeah, 1900, before the Common Era. Hermes, Egyptian god. The staff of Hermes with a serpent wound over it is used to represent value in on the planet called Earth today. Tomorrow it'd be something else. It'd be something else. And so I'm going to sign off because that's about all I can say tonight and stay awake. I have more tomorrow about the underground apparatus that has been in place for decades. Yeah. Who'd have thought this? Who'd have thought that there are underground prisons? Ooh, in America? Yes, a lot of them. Underground bases. Almost 400 of them. Oh, this was decided upon decades ago. Why did Werner von Braun come to America in 1946? He's the one that created the rocket, 1938. It was Nazi SS. SS, proving bloodlines to the 17th century to be SS. There's that. Why did 1,700 of the worst Nazis come to America in 1946? Because Nazi Germany was going to be handled differently. And the years that were to come were more than the years that had passed. And so let's get this done. There are too many mind-bending tales of horror and unjust conduct. And that's what most people are doing, is ignoring what's going on because it's not pleasant to learn that we've been lied to for our life long. Yes. Why? Is it not known that there are maglev trains underground, scooting the elites across the country at Mach 2? Where did I learn this? Norman Berger. He was naval intelligence. He went on the YouTube 5 months before he died, May 2018, and spilled the dope about some of these secrets. Some of these things that are so over the top mind bending that people will continue to reside in their own delusion for the sake of some comfort that is provided by not knowing the truth, but relying on a false paradigm that has been put forth as just that. Why is it not known that Lucas Trust is the publishing arm of the United Nations and that Lucas is a shortened form of the name Lucifer? This is all really diabolically, irretrievably bad. RSM here to inform, because once you have, or once you've informed, then people can do with it what they will. But information, this is basically life wrapped in different coats. Everything is information and math. So take care, Pete. Signing off. Till tomorrow. I'll be back. Hopefully I can stay some more lucid. Signing smooth off. RSM.